While the mistreatment of female idols is often discussed, there's also a need to talk about all the unfair treatment that male idols receive in the industry. From being objectified in different forms to straight up being hurt, they also go through a lot. The horrible objectification. Unfortunately, objectification of celebrities isn't only applied to the K-pop industry and not only to female idols. The objectification and pure misogyny that female idols face from fans and casual listeners alike is one of the most discussed topics among the K-pop communities. However, the extent to which male idols get dehumanized is also very concerning and not as talked about, and the worst of it is that it starts very early on too. There have been way too many idols who are still minors that are objectified by older female fans, or even fans of the same age. BTS's Jungkook and Jimin, for example, had some uncomfortable moments when they were minors. The objectification of them is going on even today. Jimin showed his abs during every performance of BTS's debut song No More Dream, even though he was still a minor. This was so severe to the point that he was known among K-pop for his abs alone, and that led to a lot of unhealthy diet practices. Pictures of Jungkook when he was underage still get used to talk about him in the most vulgar manners. Jisung from NCT Dream also had fans ask him about when he was going to show off his abs, even though he was still a minor at the time. He had a great response to it though, as he'd make handcuff gestures and police siren sounds. Gravity member Minhee had a lot of comments too, asking to see his abs on V-Live. The objectification involves the problem with fanfiction and explicit fan art too. As you know, there are millions of fanfiction around the internet depicting male idols in relationships of every kind. And yes, you guessed it, these fanfics don't always involve grown-up idols, and the scenarios aren't always consensual or 100% safe for work. The worst of it is that idols are also aware of what the fans are writing about them. Son Simba, a male rapper, once opened up about how he had come across a story about him written by a fan. The content shocked him, especially the use of explicit language and description used to depict the sexuality of the character that was based on him. He said, "You can't ignore the situation that has been created. There are people who are creating and selling their stories as well as drawings of real people. They're advocating for perversion, but there are people who are busy trying to conceal it." Rapper BY also called out fans who write inappropriate fanfiction, also known as RPS or real person slash in Korea. There was even an online petition that demanded punishment for people who create or distribute explicit fictional stories posted on the Blue House's e-petition board, and was signed by more than 200,000 people. The issue has not died down despite everything. Excessive fan service. Fan service isn't new to the K-pop industry, but it is a really serious issue when it comes to male idols. It can also be argued that fan service is to blame for all the unhinged fanfiction that exists on the internet. Idols of any age, doesn't matter if they're close or not, are forced to act all lovey-dovey with each other, make dirty jokes together, and insinuate that there may exist something more than a platonic relationship between the two. It's funny because most of these idols are probably straight and not even that close, but fans doubt that even the gay idols would be in favor of doing fan service, knowing that entertainment companies are making a joke out of the community in favor of attracting fans. The worst of it is that companies not only are aware of it, but they also encourage it. By now, you're aware that they're going to use all kinds of tactics that have been proven to attract fans in the past, one of them being fan service. A male idol in the past even came out and mentioned that companies sometimes encourage idols to do these things, whether they want to or not. He said, "There are a lot of cases where agencies will force it on the idols. They'll encourage the members to do more skinship and take care of one another more." This wasn't shocking to anyone familiar with how the entertainment industry works, but it was still a bit of a surprise for this information to be confirmed by someone who worked in the industry himself. A netizen commented, "It's basically a crime. These idols feel bad over it, but they're too scared of pissing off their agency or their fans, so they just stay hush and keep going with it," which was devastating to hear. These idols are doing things that are out of their comfort zone to appeal to fans, and not only don't companies try to do something to make them feel safe, they also encourage this. Inappropriate choreographies and outfits. Even though boy groups have tried a variety of concepts, each more creative than the other, the dark concepts have dominated lately. With that comes some pretty hard choreographies, a few of them involving hip thrusts, idols grabbing their crotches, and showing abs. We can't make the assumption that all of these idols are uncomfortable with these moves, but we have to remember that there are groups with underage members having choreographies where they have to thrust into the air or show off their abs to the audience members who may be much older than them. Some also complained that ENHYPEN's track Fever had an inappropriate choreography, considering that Nicki is a minor. Another controversial choreography was that of Only One of's Libido. While the entire choreography was pretty explicit, there is a part where member 9 trails his hand down another member's back before the latter turns around to tie 9 by the neck and pulls him in towards his crotch. The part of the choreo ends with 9 grabbing the other brother's crotch from between his legs as he kneels below him. While the members never spoke up about it, some people assumed that the members felt uncomfortable with the choreography, especially considering the fact that the members had their faces shoved into their co-worker's crotch. This couldn't have been more awkward. There's also the issue with outfits. Though there haven't been a lot of instances where male idols get put into outfits that make performing an issue, as it is a problem more common with female idols, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Not only is it very prominent in the industry, but it doesn't get talked about a lot. A more recent instance of this is Stray Kids' Minho being put into an inconvenient outfit when the group was promoting their comeback Maniac. During one of the stages, Minho was wearing a pair of tight leather pants, a black shirt, and mesh gloves with spikes. At first sight, fans started to notice that Minho wasn't dancing with the same intensity as he always does, which was strange, especially when knowing just how much of a powerful dancer he is. When rewatching the fan cam, fans could see him adjusting his outfit several times in the middle of performing. He kept readjusting his pants, and he even slipped and hurt himself at some point because of the mesh gloves. The shirt was proven to be a problem too. Since stylists were going for a badass mature concept, Minho's shirt was open on both sides and shorter at the torso. This caused his shirt to ride up and show his stomach, and Minho was deeply uncomfortable with that as he was seen pulling his shirt down too many times during the performance. He had even opened up in the past about how he doesn't like showing his stomach because of a surgical scar, so it's no wonder why he looked so angry when the performance ended. While fans praised him for his professionalism, they criticized the stylist for trying to make him look more mature while sacrificing his comfort. This opened up a conversation about how male idols also get put into inappropriate and uncomfortable outfits as companies try to bring in more fans by showing skin. The mistreatment of male idols. While there are many cases that involve company staff physically and mentally hurting male idols that we don't know about, the good thing is that more of these cases are coming out in the open every day, leading to the people being responsible for it facing punishment. A known case of that is of the Eastlight members. In 2017, Export News had reported that the members were verbally hurt by the CEO of their entertainment company and physically hurt by producer A since 2015. The mistreatment was so severe that producer A had allegedly slapped the members, had hit them with a baseball bat, a microphone, and reportedly even wrapped a guitar string around one member's neck and pulled it every time he made a mistake in a performance. Because of the mistreatment, the members bled from their heads and had bruises and weren't allowed to complain as the CEO had reportedly cursed and threatened them. The case made quite a lot of noise in the media and practically urged other media outlets to expose stories of the same nature so the people responsible for this could be brought to justice. The most recent case of mistreatment is that of Omega X's CEO. On October 24th, SBS released a video of Omega X's CEO hitting the members during the group's world tour. A day before the report was released, a fan of Omega X had shared a testimony of them witnessing the agency's CEO mistreating the members. The fan had said, "We witnessed the kids, Omega X agency CEO, hitting them. My hand was shaking so hard I didn't know what to do. They were hit just in front of me, but I couldn't do anything." They also included audio recordings that sounded like the CEO screaming at the members. SBS then released footage of the CEO allegedly hurting the members physically and verbally during their tour in LA. In the video, she can be seen lashing out at one of the members, Jaehan. The latter was sitting on the floor and visibly panicking. The CEO doesn't seem to mind his shocked state as she continues to yell at him. In another clip, she can be seen pulling Jaehan to the floor by pulling him by his collar. The following clip shows Jaehan crying as he tries to get back on his feet. Let's hope that other media outlets are going to follow and release any similar stories that they might have. These men have been suffering for too long. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!